Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. For those who celebrate, I definitely do. Merry Christmas. This is a special, kind of small Christmas special before the Christmas celebrations come in, because in Christmas celebrations it will be very hard for me to join in the live stream. And so I was like, hey, what better to do today than talk about Bitcoin and Christmas and what kind of those things combine. And I thought, yeah, let's look at the historic Bitcoin price, which Bitcoin was at each Christmas. But then I thought, this is kind of boring, isn't it? It's just like looking at the price at the Christmas. Yeah, of course it goes up. Like long term, Bitcoin always goes up. But what about the Christmas rally? I saw this on my feed yesterday, day before yesterday, way before yesterday already. And I was like, does is there actually something like a Santa rally, or might actually Bitcoin kind of crash into Christmas? I was just curious if there's a pattern or not. Anyways, like for us hodlers, for us that just like hold Bitcoin for the long run, it doesn't really matter. I would never trade on expecting a Bitcoin rally or a Bitcoin crash. That's in my opinion stupid. There's like this meme, trader retard, like you can actually match those numbers. But for me, it really important is that we have Bitcoin for the long run and what's actually going on for the long run. But I thought it might be interesting to just look at it, and I was just like, hey, let's see it. But first off, like, hey, hi to every one of you. Merry Christmas to the family business. Yes, the early bird gets the worm, the late bird gets what's left. I love that one. Yes, Merry Christmas, absolutely, to all of you. Sorry about your ankle. Yeah, it's not that bad. I might be able to show you guys. Here, it's nothing too bad, but it definitely is not that good also. I played, how's it called, paddle tennis, like the tennis for the people that cannot play tennis. That's what I call it. And I'm so bad in paddle tennis, I even hurt myself. If you're 2 meters, it happens faster, I guess. First I thought it's nothing, and then 1 or 2 hours before the live stream started, I was like, oh shit, that really hurts, and I have to get to the emergency room, because like it kept on swelling and it kept on getting worse. Luckily, I thought it's broken because it kept on swelling and getting blue and stuff. But actually, luckily, it's not broken. It's just like, I have no clue how to say it in English. But basically, my foot was like that, and it was short like that, and yeah, it just needs like 6 months, 6 weeks to get good again. Yeah, but yeah, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you. Have Bitcoin yield as topic. Yeah, I not today, but I will definitely have Bitcoin yield as topic. And I always looked at Bitcoin yield has such a bad rap. The word Bitcoin yield has a really bad rap. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's see what's going on today. So what I did, and I will show this to you guys, what I did is really dive into what's going on around Christmas with the Bitcoin price action. And is there actually some correlation? And do we expect a Bitcoin crash or like a Bitcoin rally? Because I saw so many people tweeting out like Bitcoin rally, Santa rally, all of that. And I'm like, where are you taking the data? And I was like, I have to look for myself if there's actually something like that, or they just like are they just clickbaiting people to like, oh yeah, my Bitcoin is going up. Like that could be very well true. So I just like briefly gathered the data from 2016 to 2025. Now, the 2016 to 2025 data, I have just like of a public sheet that's available for everyone. And yes, in December, here we have good months, we have bad months, we have good months, we have bad months, we have good months, we have bad months. Nothing really, like there's no pattern in there. There's no like, you cannot tie it to anything. It has really good months, sometimes in December, but also really bad months. Even like in a Bitcoin bull run, sometimes the Bitcoin price in December is bad. For example, where was this? Yeah, I think 2021. No, 2022. Yeah, 2022. If you look at 2022, this line right here we had a bad December on the Christmas week. So like between Christmas and New Year's Eve, we were also negative. But in 2022, if you remember, after that, we really shot up. So it was like the starting already of a bull market. And so like it basically, I wanted to make that entry for the Christmas rally because I saw so many people talking about the Santa Claus rally, the Santa rally, the Christmas rally, and I'm like, it's just not it. It's just not there. And then I was like, okay, maybe they're talking about the longer run, the next months. What's actually happening, not a week after Christmas, but what's happening a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months after Christmas. And I was like, okay, 2016 negative, 2017 negative, 2018 negative, 2019 and 20 we were positive, but 2019 we were positive after months of going down, so it was kind of the start of a small rally. Then 2020, honestly, I call it the big print 1.0. This was a massively big print that we had. I think we in 2020 alone, this data always shocks me. If you compare all of the monetary supply of the history of the US from 1971 till 2019 at the end, and see how big the 2020 money printing was. They printed over 40% of the monetary supply just in 2020. So of course Bitcoin goes up. Of course all other assets go up if you devalue the currency that much. So no surprise whatsoever there. And so then there is the question of okay, this is happening because of that. Then it's again negative, then positive after a long downturn, then positive in a bull run, then negative. It was down till March and then like went up again. So honestly, this was just my thing, my takeaway from this small short brief research that I did of the Santa rally. Do not count on a Santa rally and do not count on a Santa crash, because the way more important thing is actually right here, this one. And I will dive in with you right now with that. We have from CCN, not CNN, CCN, the Bitcoin price at Christmas. What was the Bitcoin price at Christmas? We started with, oh gosh, is that even possible under 1 cent? Like, is that like a third of a cent? Like nothing. Basically, like, let's not count 2019. We started 2010 with 25 cent US. So we started really low. And then from 2010 to 2011, oh gosh, that's what is that? That's a massively strong development there, from 25 cents to 4 cents. Then we have from 2011 from $4 to $13. We have $13 to almost 600. Then we had like 2 down years from to 320, 400. Then again 800 up. Then from 800 we had a massively big jump from 14,000. Then we had down again. We gone up, and then we had again a massive jump upwards. Then we had down again, and then again a massive jump upwards. Now, what can we learn from that? Because like it seems random, but what we can actually learn from Bitcoin, and there's no guarantee that Bitcoin behaves in the same manner in the long run also, but this is just something to notice. We can learn from Bitcoin that it has those massive jumps upwards, and especially if there's a macro trend that comes with it. And that's what I talked about a long time in the stream, I think 4 days ago or 3 days ago, where I talked about like the liquidity shock coming out. So just like type in my name, liquidity shock 2026, where I personally believe in 2026, we will have a massive liquidity coming in into Bitcoin. And I believe that because something that is very easy to explain, because of this man right here. He really does not like that the Fed isn't cutting interest rates, and he is cutting interest rates too late and not enough. And the US President Trump, he really wants a new Fed chair in, And I think the Fed chair will be in March, if I'm not mistaken, but like early 2026, and he will announce it in the first week of January 2026. And there is a potential that this Fed chair is a Bitcoiner, not a Bitcoiner, but like is someone that really likes Bitcoin. And then there is also the potential, and I'm thinking this is actually like almost a given, that this guy or girl that he will point out to is someone that really, really will cut interest rates and will massively, basically the big print, which was Larry Lepard's theory all along, that is coming in 2026. So I expect Bitcoin, because of the macro scheme, to really, really rally in 2026. Now, I could be wrong. Again, it's very important that we always remember we are into Bitcoin for the long run. We are not investing now in December 2025 to expect Bitcoin to rally the next 12 or 18 months to sell out. No, we're not sellouts. We are hodlers. We are the people that see Bitcoin in the long run and will attach ourselves to the success of Bitcoin in the long run. That's how you actually make progress. Now, here's another video of Trump actually talking about the next Fed chair that has to cut interest rates, and this is really interesting because he talks very openly about that. Let's look in.
He's a
I want to ask about interest rates because a lot of Americans agree with you that they're too high. You're going to pick a new Fed chair soon. Is it a litmus test that the new chair lower interest rates immediately?
Yes.
You got how quick he answered that? Like he got like a 1 second to think of like, is it a litmus test? Yes. That was fun. But yeah, like 100%, the next Fed chair has to cut interest rates. There's no way around that. Donald Trump will not appoint someone that will not cut the interest rates, like 100%.
Well, this guy too should too, but I think he's a combination of not a smart person and doesn't like Trump.
He talks about the current Fed chair, Jerome Powell, and he's like, he's a person that does not like Trump and is not smart. Really, really interesting stuff. Yeah. So, and by the way, because in the last stream I said basically that Strategy will buy 10,000 Bitcoin and will announce another buy. I was wrong. And I just want to correct that from the last stream, actually, because Strategy did not buy Bitcoin. They actually bought $748 million and now holds a reserve of 2.2 billion US dollars and 671,268 Bitcoin, which is crazy. Even without the Bitcoin, they can pay the dividends and all of that for, what was it, 18 months, or was it 21 months even? So like for like 1 to 2 years, they can pay even if they don't make the money, which is very smart. Now that they have the yield product, now that they have the stretchers and all of that, they need US dollar reserve to also to never be forced to sell Bitcoin. And when we think about the fundamental strategies that you can do with Bitcoin, it's very important that you never get in a position where you might sell your Bitcoin. Because if you think back at the rallies that Christmas does, like at the Christmas prices. So let's look at that chart actually again. I think this is a very important point. We have here price points from $4 to $669. But what if you come into 2013 at like $700 into Bitcoin? And oh wait, sorry guys, I did not share it. So we have the price here: 2011, $4, $12, $13, 2013, $700, almost $700. What if you have to sell here down at 320 and you cannot buy back in till like 800 or maybe even like 14,000? What if you have to sell because you're greedy, because you lose leverage, because you do all those fancy shit, and you buy Bitcoin at like $600 or $700? Then you're forced to sell. You go through a rough patch and then you lose out on the 700 to 15, 16, 18,000 US dollar rally. You cannot time the market. Don't be fancy with debt. Don't be fancy with timing the market. Don't be a trader. Like this is literally the most important. This is the advice I give to each and every one that I encounter talking about Bitcoin, because this is very, very important that we understand that we might be in the position to sell Bitcoin if we don't need to. And that's why I think Saylor does that, because he's smart and he never wants to be in a position to sell Bitcoin. Because what's happening? What would happen in the moment he's selling even like 100 Bitcoin? Like from 600,000 Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin is nothing. If he would sell 100 Bitcoin just to cover a short-term payment, that would cause a lot of drama, a lot of fear, uncertainty in the stock base. Like people would be rallying up and like, oh, it's going down. And then like people like Peter Schiff and all those big people come out and say like, oh, it's a scam. And now like we know it, that's a proof. He has to sell his Bitcoin, and he will sell his Bitcoin, then it goes to zero. Like 100%, that's a very smart move to actually have US dollar reserves to cover short-term payments, not only from a marketing standpoint, but just from a purely financial standpoint. So I just wanted to cover that. This was from last episode, but it is very important that we understand what's actually going on in the Christmas season. Now, there was something else I wanted to show you guys. It's not Bitcoin related directly, but it is Santa Claus rally related. And it just like amuses me, and that's what I want to share it with you guys. Some guy like SuperTrade said like the official Santa Claus rally begins on December 24th. It covers the last 5 trading days of December plus the first 2 of January. So basically from Christmas till the beginning of January. The last 2 were negative, but there was never been a third straight down Santa Claus rally. That is searching for patterns that just isn't there. Yes, we have great patterns that we had massive rallies after Christmas in that one specific week, but we also had massive downturns. It's just like, yes, generally it's going up because generally we print money, and because we generally print money, all the assets that are denominated in the money that we print in will be going up. So like, yeah, it's just like searching for patterns where there are no freaking patterns. Now, what's going on actually? What do I think in 2026 will be happening? I personally think that the Santa rally long term in 2026, when we talk about 12, 18 months, could actually happen. But it's also not sure. And there's a few reasons why I think this will be happening. I already covered the Fed chair with Trump that I think will cut interest rates. So a lot of liquidity, a lot of money will come into the system. What happens when there's a lot of money coming into the system? Asset prices rise because the money gets devalued. So do not hold unnecessary US dollars, do not hold unnecessary euros or fiat currencies, hold assets. I personally believe Bitcoin will be the biggest winner, but at least hold some assets. Now, there's another thing that I saw just today. I found it very interesting. If you look at the biggest ETF provider, BlackRock, or iShares by BlackRock, if you go at their homepage, and this is literally iShares.com/US, you can go to iShares.com/US and find it on their homepage. I will refresh one more time and you will see this. Here we see on the homepage of their website, iBit, iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF, access the world's largest and most traded Bitcoin ETP. They are more than just a little bit bullish on what's going on with Bitcoin. BlackRock made a full 180 on Bitcoin. I was not ready for this. And I think the market has not priced this in. And I think the market isn't ready for what's to come. They had, and I showed you guys this, I think 2 days ago, where every single, maybe I can find it, but every single of the 25 top ETFs in 2025 that had the biggest volume were positive. Every single one of them, except one. It was IBIT. IBIT was down, of course, because Bitcoin is down. But still, Bitcoin, the Bitcoin ETF from BlackRock, completely new ETF, not established. The whole sales things is not yet fully there. It's just been around for a little bit under than 2 years. And still, it's the 6th largest volumed ETF in the world, or not, in the US actually. I don't know about the world, but probably also in the world, because the US is usually has the biggest ones. So if you think about this massive success, an ETF that has such a high volume gets bought so much, even though it is so underperforming to all of their peers. Like literally, all the top 25 ETFs were up this year. Only Bitcoin was down, and it was on the top 6. And this just shows me people really want Bitcoin, and BlackRock is really pushing for that Bitcoin ETF. It's just another small thing that I saw, and I was like, yeah, like institutions are coming, companies are coming, then individuals, obviously individuals are here since 2009, and we're just getting more and more and more. There are more Bitcoin podcasts, there are more Bitcoin live streams, there are more content creators, TikTokers, Instagram people, Twitter people. Like the whole retail crowd is really, really nicely there already since like 2010. Now it's just like the institutions, the companies, even the countries, like Czech is buying Bitcoin, Texas is buying Bitcoin. It's crazy what's currently happening, and we have a massive discount. And I'll come back to that actually, because it's so interesting. We have here guys like him. We have guys like him here, Mike McClone. Apparently a very, very respected guy. He lost all of my respect. He lost 100% of all of my respect, because he says a path towards $10,000 Bitcoin. We buy Bitcoin with money we can't afford to lose. Michael Saylor at the Economic Club of Miami last evening. I admire and respect Michael Saylor, and it was his arrival in 2020 when Bitcoin traded near $10,000 that helped fuel the 10x rally. So according to Mike McClone, the Saylor was responsible for getting Bitcoin from 10,000 to 100,000. Strongly disagree. Saylor bought Bitcoin because he saw Bitcoin rallying up towards 100K, then a million and 10 million. It was not that Saylor saw an asset that was like, maybe I can pump that asset. It was the other way around. He saw Bitcoin and saw it pumping, and he saw Bitcoin with this strong long-term view, and it was like, okay, I get into this asset, not the other way around. We're not rallying because of Saylor. Saylor is in Bitcoin because Bitcoin is rallying. like this is really, really bad. Really, really bad logic from him. And so like my respect is 100% already lost just seeing that one tweet. I don't know him in any other way, shape, or form. And now he goes on, but much of what the market had been looking forward to has occurred. ETF, US leaders recognizing Bitcoin benefit, and broader mainstream adoption. Okay, so he sees that we have a lot of the good things going and a discounted price. So he sees the underlying value of Bitcoin actually growing and the fundamentals getting stronger and stronger, but at the same time, the prices is getting lower than before these things happened, and now he's bearish on it. It's a little bit like, I don't know, you bought a company, and the company in 2024 and 5 made constantly better profits. They expanded the market, better brand value, all of that, and they kept getting better and better each month. But the stock price just kept on plummeting, and you're like, oh, now it will plummet even more because obviously people are not excited about it. No, if the fundamentals are getting stronger and the stock price is going down, this is just a great, amazing opportunity. Now, you have to obviously with stocks, and that's why like a huge disclaimer, there just could be something else going wrong with that stock. Like maybe they're selling off because of some else reason. And so this is with stocks is a little bit more complicated than with Bitcoin. But it just does not make sense what he's saying here. Not at all, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. And now he goes on to say, now there are 28 million cryptocurrencies listed on CoinMarketCap, up from 1 in 2009. Yeah, of course. We started with Bitcoin. Was CoinMarketCap already like registered in 2009? I don't think so. But basically, he is now mentioning, oh, the cryptocurrencies are getting inflated, and that's why Bitcoin will not be good, because Bitcoin has now other projects that are also doing something. And yes, someone literally can go to pump.fun and create a new token, new project. Like I could launch a new project and get probably some market cap going. And it's like, this is not the way. Like it's like, yes, I make it again with companies. I don't want to compare Bitcoin to a company, but I think it makes a lot of sense how to compare it. If you think of like, hey, once there was not that many companies, and there's like now Apple. And Apple now has so much competition because just in 2005, so many more startups were founded. I'm like, okay, but like this doesn't take away from Apple. And then there's like a big difference between companies and Bitcoin, because Apple actually competes with other companies and startups. And there might actually be a startup that outcompetes Apple, and it will be bigger than Apple one day. It's actually like 100% that way. Like there's like 100% a startup being found in today or in 2025 or 2026 that will probably be bigger than Apple and outcompete Apple and maybe like crush their business model. But Bitcoin is not a company. Bitcoin is a protocol, and protocols are sticky. It's saying like, hey, the TCP/IP protocol will be beaten by some other protocol that is that is apparently better, but doesn't have the network effect. So like protocols are very different to companies, and protocols do not compete with other projects that come just out of nothing. And so for me, first of all, Bitcoin does not compete at all with other cryptocurrencies. Like there are other things, like they don't even like are in the same category. But even if they would be in the same category, the point that there are 28 million cryptos and Bitcoin still holds, in case they would compete with each other, still holds so much of the dominance in that space, should tell you something. Now, actually, this was a thing in the other article in there, and I want to show this to you guys. Here we have it. We have, let's see what's going on. Where was it? It was here. I saw it. I'm 100% sure I saw it. Let me find it. It was 100. Yes, here it is. So obviously, yes, in 2009, obviously Bitcoin had a dominance of 100%, but it also had no like market cap. Then slowly the dominance fell, obviously, because other market participants came in the market, other cryptos came in the market. Slowly it fell. So we had like around 90% till 2016. Then in 2017, there was the ICO boom. Everyone wanted to start and coin. Everyone wanted to start like his own project. And then there was this whole push of like, hey, it's not Bitcoin, it's blockchain, which is like 100% wrong. It's not blockchain, it's Bitcoin. And so like, yeah, we traded between like a 48 to 70, then like 40 again, and now we are at 60 back up dominance. And I personally believe we will end up being at like 90+% dominance for the long run, maybe even 100%. I'm not sure yet. I'm not fully 100% certain that all other cryptos will go to zero, But what I'm very certain of is that the biggest opportunity is Bitcoin. If you think about it, there is what's Bitcoin going after? Bitcoin is going after the money market, the where should I store my wealth market. So where should I keep my financial for my financial energy market? This is where Bitcoin is going after. This is the main cause of Bitcoin. And so if you think about that, how big is that market? That's around 400 to 600 trillion US dollars currently. And on top of that, you have Bitcoin also as a currency, as a unit of account. And this could be then potentially even bigger. So we are talking about a 500 to 700 trillion US dollar market cap as a total addressable market, a TAM. And then what is the total addressable market of any crypto project? Because they are crypto projects, they are basically a company, they are security. If they are security in a company, what is the biggest company right now on earth? It's Nvidia, and it doesn't even have 5 trillion. It has like 4 point something trillion. So you have on the one hand Bitcoin, which has a total addressable market of 500 to 700 trillion. And then you have all the other crypto projects that have a total addressable market of 5 trillion. If they're super successful, I don't think they will ever get there. I think all those other crypto projects will be like to zero, but that's another discussion. I just want to say the total addressable market is really bad for all the other cryptos. So now back to what he is saying. And I haven't looked at his story because for some reason I couldn't. I saw this today and I wanted to look at the story, but I just couldn't click on it actually. Maybe it's like behind a paywall or something. But then it's like own it or wear it. I don't know what he means with that. I expect Bitcoin to revert back towards 10,000 US dollars. And his sole argument, at least from this small tweet I saw, is like, because it was at $10,000 before Michael Saylor came in. Then Michael Saylor came in. Michael Saylor himself rallied it to 100K with the 10x rally, and now Michael Saylor is still in there, but it will just go to 10,000 because I say so. What? Like I there's no logic in that. In here, it's just like pure like, hey, everything is going down. I'm a doomsayer. I think someone here actually said it in the chat. Someone here said Bloomberg Mike. Queen said Bloomberg Mike, and here the drunk sailor said Doomberg Mike, like 100%. Very, very true. Now let's come back to more important stuff. I told you guys already that I believe that 2026 will be a massive year, but we have to talk about this. What if it isn't? What if Bitcoin has 2 down years in a row? What if we now end up at like 80K this year and go down to like 50K next year? This is very much possible. I want you guys to be prepared. I want you guys to be maximal prepared for a downward shift, because even if we have all the breadcrumbs pointing towards a positive future of Bitcoin, it absolutely 100% can happen. This is not something that is like maybe it happens or not. Like this can absolutely happen. And so if you think about what if Bitcoin has 2 down years in a row, which like this year and that year, I think upside would be more painful because most people have no exposure. I have to ask Rajit about that. Like that sentence does not make sense for me. But it's like if Bitcoin goes up in 2026, it will be very painful for those people that have no exposure to Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin does not go up and it actually is a down year, it's great for Bitcoiners too, because you can stack cheap sats. As I always say, cheaper sats gives you more freedom in the long run. Who doesn't want more freedom in the long run? Like that's like always always ravels me. This is one thing I saw. Then there's like one more thing I wanted to share with you guys, because we're on the topic of altcoins and in my opinion shitcoins. This is Charlie Lee, not Samson Mao. This is Charlie Lee that talks here with CoinDesk, and he said something: just buy Bitcoin, don't sell. And he makes a really interesting argument here, and he's the Litecoin founder. Let's see what he has to say.
Just if my advice for myself would just to be, I think this would be surprising to a lot of people, but which is to be buy Bitcoin, store it away, don't sell anything, and don't do anything else related to crypto, and just sit on it.
So there you have it. A founder of a shitcoin tells you, buy Bitcoin, do nothing with it, and don't do anything with other cryptos.
And be anonymous.
And be anonymous. I guess I didn't do that.
That would be my advice.
So don't follow in your footsteps.
Correct. Like
I mean,
creating Litecoin did not really make me more money. It was a lot of headache. Yeah, it was. Yeah, just if you just buy Bitcoin, keep it away, stay anonymous, sit on it, don't sell anything.
It's phenomenal. Like seeing crypto people, seeing shitcoiners saying, "Hey, I messed up. I shouldn't have invented my crypto token and my security. I should have just sticked with Bitcoin and it would have been way better." This is the messaging we need. This is the people finally seeing what actually is going on and why Bitcoin is so much better than anything else. In the long run, you don't have any other choice of like being a Bitcoiner. And I strongly believe that. I don't share this, I think, enough in the live stream and the podcast. You do not have the choice of being a Bitcoiner or not. Yes, from a mindset and culture perspective, like you have the choice. But at some point, everyone has to adopt the Bitcoin standard because it will be the underlying asset of everything. I have this still to this day. I hope I have it in. I think I still have to this day. When I started my Twitter channel and up until now, I have this always in my Twitter bio, and I will share this with you. I always have this in there: talking Bitcoin until it's money for everyone. And this will might be that I'm talking about Bitcoin all my life. Could take a while, but this is truly the thing where we are ending up towards, where we are actually going towards. This is where we are going long in the long run. We will be having Bitcoin as money, and nothing else will have any substantial value whatsoever. It will be Bitcoin and Bitcoin only, in my humble view. And I actually have very strong beliefs around that. Now, let's look in the chat what's going on and see what is going on. Yes, Robin is back. Gesundheit, like health, yes, 100%. Legend, are you in a wheelchair? No, I'm in a normal kind of a chair. I showed it before. I will show it again. I have just like this kind of a type. So I have a bandage, but it's not that bad. It will be good again. And yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, like the screen is beautiful. I was like, let's have some Christmas decoration. So thank you so much, guys, for joining in. This was a really short Christmas special. I wanted to share also something. I got so much feedback from so many listeners, and maybe also from some of you guys that were in the live and in the chat in here, that they really love the podcast. They want to have the podcast back. And I also miss it. It sounds so weird. Almost like a on-off relationship with like after a breakup or something like that. But I really, really miss the podcast of speaking with the people. And so after stopping everything and slowly starting with the live stream, I more and more realized that live streaming is so much fun, but also the podcast is so much fun. And I think if I do every single day live stream, I probably get bored also after 2 years. And if I do podcasting every single day, I also get bored. So I decided on starting middle of January with doing 3 podcasts a week and fill the other days, and do free live streams per week as I do it here, and one live stream I will do with Roger Sony. So there will be like a little bit of a mix of like what's actually going on in the content side. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for joining in. It was a pleasure having you all, guys. I will not be joining tomorrow. The live stream is just like absolutely impossible for my family schedule that I've planned for tomorrow. For you guys that might not be aware, I have a huge family. Not huge because of tall, yes, but I'm the tallest actually, but just like huge because like there are many people in there. So we're going from house to house and we'll have a lot to do. Basically celebrating Christmas 3 times tomorrow. Will be fun. And the live stream will just not be possible. And I think Christmas is a time to maybe lay Bitcoin a little bit back, maybe say, hey, I will not talk about Bitcoin too much. I will just enjoy Christmas, enjoy the company, enjoy some cookies, even though I don't eat sugar, but I will even make an exception for tomorrow for sugar. So I will eat some sugar tomorrow. And yeah, it will be just a great day. And I will be back on the 25th. So like today in like 48 hours, I will be back. And yeah, really cool. Merry Christmas. And yeah, I will see you in 2 days. Have a great day. And I cannot say it now. It's always back tomorrow, but I'll be back in 2 days. Bye-bye.
This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute financial advice.